So, Spezza, a very interesting name. How did you come up with that?
No, actually, I speak a little bit Italian, and it's a shorter version of Spezza, which means like a little heartbreaker.
It means what, sorry?
It means heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting. Okay. And is that a nickname you've been using for a while or just for the real world?
yeah, just for the real.
Okay, fair enough. So, could you give a short introduction about yourself? What do you do? How did you come across the real world?
Yeah, so approximately 1 year ago, I started to see a lot of Tate's content on YouTube, and I was at the time I was already trying to like make a lot of money, like better myself. I was working a regular job as a social worker, but I didn't make a lot of money. I sold web design for a little bit, made some money, but it was still, I felt like my energy was wasted, you know? I put a lot of
Mhm.
effort in it, but it didn't go as fast as I liked. So one day I just thought, why not try it, you know? So I tried the real world, went inside, went into the Stops campus, completely fell in love with the Stops campus, and yeah, I started trading stocks.
And why did you choose Stocks campus instead of any other campuses that were out there?
Yeah, because of my work as a social worker. I work a lot with people. Also with the web design, I had a lot of clients. And to be honest, I wanted to make money without like the hassle of clients, without being reliant on somebody else. And with stocks, it's just, you have a group around you, but mostly it's just your own preparation, you know?
Okay, interesting. I'd like a bit more into why did you choose to become a social worker as well?
Yeah, it just, well, it was coincidence. It's actually funny because first I wanted to join the army, but I got like injured, well, long story. Then I had no job for a short time. Some of my social circles, you can work with younger people, you know, from prison or from somebody else who need help. So I started to become a social worker, and now actually also because of the real world, I saw potential in it because you can also work as a freelancer to hire you, to let people hire you. So now I work as a freelancer. I make pretty good money. Work a job as well.
Interesting. Okay, so just to clarify, you've went to through the Stocks campus, and now you've also implemented some things from the freelancing campus to land yourself a job. Did I understand that
Yeah,
correctly?
it was not really the freelancing campus. It was, I think it was a video of Tate where he said like, you need speed, you need it now, and I needed more money to play stocks. And at that time, when I just joined, I didn't know there were prop firms. So I only had my own money, and it was not a lot. So I thought, how can I make more money? And then a friend of mine said, you can also work as a freelancer. And I tripled my income with it. So it's really good.
Interesting. And in terms of stocks, how much have you earned?
In the last month, I earned more than 8,000 euros thanks to the real world.
Good. That's great to hear. And did you have any stocks experience before you joined the
Now,
real world?
literally nothing. I knew that like stocks are a part of a company you can buy, and then in a fake way you get money from it. But it was the only thing I knew.
Interesting. And
Nothing.
is it short term, mid term, long term investing or trading that you do?
Mostly short and medium term. I mostly day trade. Sometimes I swing trade, so I hold it a couple of days. But mostly I trade and I sell on the same day. Mostly futures.
Okay. Explain futures a bit for me because a while ago, I'll say a while ago, let's say 4 to 5 years ago, I was looking into getting into futures, but it seems like from Europe, you can't trade American futures. So do you trade European futures or was I just wrong in my research?
No, I think it's the other way around. I think Americans can trade certain European short-term derivative. How do you say it in English?
Derivatives.
Yeah,
No,
sure. I think it's Americans who can do it, but from Europe, I trade the NQ, the Nasdaq. I trade through international brokers. So they can convert my euros to dollars, and then I can trade directly. So it's no problem. You can just trade from Europe.
Okay. Is there options as well?
Yeah, options the same. Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't know that. Good to know. Although I don't know if I'll need to do it anymore, because
Maybe
before
it come in handy in the future.
in 2019 I got into Tesla, so I wanted to get into options for Tesla, but yeah, I just couldn't find how to do it, so I just bought it instead.
Tesla you can make a lot of money, but it's like dangerous because it's a crazy stock. It can go really fast up and down. It's
for me, it was just investing long term, so that done quite well. Okay, now moving on. How different has the material been within the stocks campus compared to what you've seen out on the internet?
very different. The stocks campus, when you first go inside, the professor and he tells you to base your actions on just on price. I think most people who think of trading stocks or futures, they think they need to watch the news or read an article, but price always comes first. So first the price reacts to something, and then you see a news article. So you basically just have to look at the price, at the history, and then you can make a decision on that. So that's a really big part of the things that are taught in campus.
Okay. And what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced when you were first starting out with stocks trading?
Stocks trading is a lot of it is in your head, you know. You need to be very disciplined because you can make a lot of money, but you can also lose a lot of money. So you need to be very, very disciplined. That is hard. And also you need to have a solid system that you follow. And you, in the stock campus, they call it backtest. So you can create a system or use the system from somebody like the professor, but you need to test it in the long term if it's profitable or not. Mm-hmm. And then you need to stick by it and only enter when you see a good setup. Not you see the price go up, oh, maybe I buy it, maybe it goes up. If you do that, then you're going to lose in the long term.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of backtesting, how far back do you backtest your strategy?
It is not it's not necessary to go really way back, but it is useful to go back in different time periods, summer, winter, because summer is really different from September, for example. So backtest in different environments, and also it's recommended to backtest it at least, I think, 1,000 trades.
Now, going back to your personal life, how different would you say your average day is now compared to before you joined the real world?
It has changed a lot. Before I joined, I was already like disciplinary, but now I have a clear goal. I want to make money with stocks, so I wake up, I go look at the markets, I go look into the real world. You know, I do my thing. I train Muay Thai now, go to the gym more often. I just have purpose, you know, clear vision. I know what I want, so it helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm. And is there more to add for how your life was before you joined?
Now, before I joined, I think I did a lot of things that were good, but I mean, you can dig for gold, but if you dig in the wrong place and then find gold, you know, you can dig as hard as you want. So I worked a job. Maybe I could save like $400 each month. Then it takes you like 300 years to be a millionaire, you know. It's doomed to fail. And when I joined the real world, I just saw so much opportunity to make a lot of money.
All right.
And it's better to leave the other things aside, just focus on one. I focused on stocks, made a lot of money outside of it. Also put it in stocks, multiply it. It's better to do that than to focus on 10 other things, you know. This
exactly.
And fight strategy. You also see people inside who make money each and every day. It's really very bad.
Mm-hmm. So since you're on this trajectory, where do you see your life heading in the next 6 months to 1 year?
In the next 6 months, want to keep being profitable, maybe double my account. I have now some positive momentum, so I think it's possible. And after a year, I want to become a full-time trader, you know, because then you also location independent, so you can go wherever you want. I want to travel a lot, do good things for my family, and just keep on grinding. Also joining the war room, so I have a lot in my agenda.
Good. So in terms of how your life is now, did you have that desire to do what you're doing now, let's say several years back? Or is it fairly new, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it's fairly new. I would say I have it for maybe 2 or 3 years. When I worked a never-ending job, I worked night shifts also. So to make a long story short, I have a lot of free time and reasonably money. So I traveled a lot, and that made me realize if you just have maybe 5,000 euros to spend each month, and you have the time, you can travel the world, you know. And that made my desire so great to find something to make the money from my computer for an internet connection. But there was nobody around me who could help me with direction, you know. A lot of scammers online, a lot of bullshit programs that I followed. I made some money selling websites, but it was not great. And the real world was perfect timing. I logged in and I instantly knew this is it, because it was, still is, I believe, 50 euros per month. Mm-hmm. And if you see how much content only the Stocks campus has, it's crazy, you know. And there's only one campus, so you almost instantly see the value of it. And also daily life calls with professionals. You can ask a professional a question, he answers within an hour. Thousands of people online every day, every hour, from over the world. It's crazy.
Right, great community for sure. And I'd like to follow up on, where do you think that need to explore comes from for you to want to travel?
I think as a man, you have a certain energy to experience adventure, you know. For me, it is travel, meeting people, you know, do fun things. For somebody else, it can be a professional fighter or go to the military. But I think we all want some sort of adventure, some sort of purpose, you know. Not drive to your job, but you go out for drinks one time a week, maybe go walk in the park for 30 years. That is boring. For me at least. But I want to conquer something, you know, do something, have purpose.
Good. And great to hear that, yeah, you found that purpose now. Or at least you had that direction before, but now you have the means to fulfill that purpose. Maybe that's the way to put it. Okay. Good. So what would you say have been some insights or the most impactful lessons that have stood out to you from your time within the real world?
Well, the first lesson that stood out to me is in the real world, there is no room for a victim mindset, you know, because when you join, also with stocks, maybe I had the day when I lost some gains, and then you go to the trading bins and you see hundreds of people making a lot of money, and they are looking at exactly the same charts as me. So it can be the market's fault, you know, it's my fault. And also when you ask a really basic question that somebody can look up on Google, they will tell you, oh, yo, look it on Google. Come on, you put some effort in it. And that's so different from other courses who are because they know they're all bullshit, is they try to please you to not be mad. In the real world, they know you can be profitable. So it's more like an attitude from come get it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting point that. Okay. So now, on a personal level, what kind of an impact would you say Tate has had on you?
He's made a big impact. I think he's one of the reasons I also stopped Muay Thai. Not in the ring yet, but trading. And also just pure mindset, you know. It's hard to explain in a couple of sentences, but he's made a really big impact on me, on my view on masculinity. And maybe I was in the past also a little bit, how do you say it, guilty of a victim mindset, you know. And Tate even says, like, when it's raining, you can go to another country. You know, everything is your own fault. And if you look at life in that way, it's better. Because if you don't like something, then you need to fix it, you know. And if you do that always, then you have a bright future. And also, a quote from him, not sure how he said it, but like your adversary, he is working every day. Like if I take a day off, I don't train, I don't eat well, I don't look into the markets, somebody else will, you know, and he will beat me because you can't need that effort, you know. Like he said, if you give 110% or maybe 200% each and every day for years on end, it's impossible to not be successful. Also with stocks, I knew nothing. My head was exploding when I saw the charts, and now I made money, you know.
I'd like to go a bit more into where did your victim mindset come from before?
I think it is imprinted in society, you know. When you fail, people say, it doesn't matter, you know. When you don't get your way and you get like you're angry, sometimes they will give you your way. And that is really bad. They don't tell, also in my work, you know, I work as a social worker, that is full of people, everything is the fault of the government or the parents or whatever. But even if you are right, you are here right now, nobody gives a fuck really. And you need to improve, you know. So it's, yeah, I'm not sure if there was like one point it came from. I just think it's the Western society, you know. They're like soft and no accountability. But if you fail, it's better for somebody to tell you are a failure or you are fat. Like one of my brothers, you know, he didn't work out as much as he used to. So I said, you are becoming fat, you need to work out. Now he trains, he fights also, goes to the gym, looks good. That's what you need as a man. You don't need somebody to say, these times it's hard to eat healthy. You know, then you get the victim mindset. If people are telling fat people, for example, they are telling them it's okay. These generations are harder to eat healthy. No, it's not harder. You need to eat less. You need to work out. But it's a harder message, you know. Nobody gives it. And in the real world, just like I gave this Google example, they will tell you, your system is bad. Change your system if you have losses, or change this or change that. They don't go pity on you or blah, blah, blah. They're real, it's better.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to reprogram your mind. And I think if you listen to Tate's podcast, I think that's a good start to reprogram your mind and to see this is the way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you feel happier. Life is harder for me now. Like today, I traded. After that, I went to Muay Thai classes, got obliterated, you know, but you feel better, you know? Even if your life is harder, you will feel better because you are doing what you're supposed to do. I know for a fact that I feel better than somebody on the couch with no money who's fat. But I get punched in the face, you know, wake up early, but I know I feel better. And people inside the real world is the same. They feel better if you get a win for your family, you're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go on a bit of a tangent here. Let me see if I can phrase this properly. So, linking to what you said, naturally, intrinsically, we're curious as people and we like to explore things, learn new things. And now, because of things like the big tech companies, YouTube, Instagram, everything relating to that, they all have algorithms which capture your attention and retain that curiosity. As in, scrolling through, you're addicted to scrolling because you're naturally curious. And if you're just within the real world, it basically has everything you need. So there's community, So let's say if you have Instagram to socialize with people, you have a community within the real world. If you want knowledge and information, you have videos tailored to every single skill set that you want. So you don't actually need to go through YouTube and just mindlessly absorb things that you're not actually going to use. And I say this because it links back to what you said about how society programs you. Seems like the real world is a really good combatant to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually use it that way because my Instagram, what I usually do is I delete it for maybe 4 or 5 days. Then I install it, look at it for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, then delete it again. And most of the time when I'm waiting for something, I just log into the real world, look at the chats, look at what my brothers are saying. It's better, you know. It's almost the same because every minute people are talking, there are videos to watch, new content, new information.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So let's see, we've done past, we've done some stuff on present, I've asked you about your future. So I'd say we're good to wrap up. I have one final question for people who are unsure about joining the real world. Maybe they're thinking it could be a scam for the $50. What advice would you have to them?
Well, first of all, I think it's good if you have like a critical mindset, you know, do not be so sure about everything, but for the €50, I mean, it's crazy, you know. I can only speak for the stock campers, but in the stock campers, even if you have a small account, you can make what it costs for a year, you can make it in a couple of days. It's crazy, you know, just try it out. If you don't like it, put it away, but at least give it a try. €50, that is nothing. If you are from Western Europe or wherever you're from, €50 is nothing. Go try it. Then after that, you can say you don't like it, but at least try it for 1 month. And then just look at your results, you know. But I'm sure you get something out of it. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, so Spezza, hope I'm not pronouncing it too badly. Thank you for your time. For people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
Yeah, they can look at my Instagram. It's spezza.s. But I'll link it in the description. Then people rest it.
Anyone who's interested, check description. It'll be done. And now I look forward to doing a follow-up with you in 3 months or so. Let me know how things progress for you. Give me a message and we'll get you on for part 2 to document the progress. Yeah, and until then, I wish you all the best.